Now to the politics of climate change. The New York Times is featuring a draft report by a group of scientists who say global warming is getting worse. But as correspondent Doug McKelway tells us, critics insist we've heard that all before.
The draft report, compiled by scientists from 13 federal agencies and obtained by the New York Times, sounds a dire warning about climate change, that average temperatures in the U.S. have risen rapidly since 1980, and recent decades have been the warmest of the past 1,500 years. It projects increases of 5 to 7.5 degrees Fahrenheit by the late century, depending on future emissions. And it concludes that even if humans immediately stopped emitting greenhouse gases, temperatures would rise an additional ½ degree Fahrenheit.
The science that's getting a lot more specific is being able to attribute the droughts, the floods, the heat waves, and specific events that we're experiencing to climate change and our human fingerprint on the Earth's climate.
To skeptics, the report is a predictable rehash of climate alarmism, cherry-picked extremes, and computer modeling that ignores inconvenient data.
We are in an era of unusually low extreme weather. So as CO2 has risen, our weather has gotten less extreme. Hurricanes, floods, droughts, tornadoes. Tornadoes have been at record low for 5 years and have declined since the 50s. Floods, there's no trends on 100-year global timescales. Droughts, we actually, even according to the UN, we're actually on declining timescales.
The Times noted the draft report had not been made public, suggesting it had been leaked. But soon after it was posted, one of its lead authors tweeted the report was already accessible to anyone who cared to read it during public review and comment time. Few did. The Times then updated the story, but not before the White House lashed out at the paper. Quote, "It's very disappointing, yet entirely predictable to learn the New York Times would write off a draft report without first verifying its contents with the White House or any of the federal agencies directly involved with climate and environmental policy." The president has never hidden his climate skepticism.
You can't use hairspray because hairspray is going to affect the ozone.
The Times story comes 4 days after the administration formally announced its withdrawal from the Paris Climate Accord, and as the EPA continues its undoing of many Obama-era climate regulations. That, while the stock market, unemployment numbers, and economic data are showing gains. It all suggests that this draft report's findings will get little attention in the Trump administration, but lots of attention among blue state governors, some of whom are pressing ahead to abide by the Paris Climate Accord and transition to greener economies. Brett?
Doug, thank you.